Welcome. My name is Ricardo Del California, and today I'm with Skyler Stokes. Skyler works for Aloha Wealth Partners, and he has a show called Aloha Fridays. And does that air weekly or bi-weekly?
What's up, Ricardo? Thanks for having me on your episode here.
Yeah,
Number one, season one. I'm so excited. This is awesome. Dude, thank
you're welcome.
you. Yeah, so Aloha Fridays, we try and do weekly. Sometimes just with, everybody being busy and whatnot, it's hard to get that kind of done every week. So it's at least once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month.
Gotcha. So somebody that wants to tune into your show, what do you guys kind of focus on?
Great question. My co-host, Mr. Chad Boysen, who we both have the pleasure of knowing as good friends, we basically talk about a number of different things in regards to like the local real estate market in San Diego, and then on top of that, we also try and talk about like some stock and economic investing on the back end too. So between both of us, I'm the guy who has the information on like the economic side of things, and then Chad has the ideas of like what's happening in the real estate market. So together, it's more of just like here's what's happening in our community, here's what's happening nationally, and let's just try and educate some folks in the community on some things they may be able to at least spot or things that they could do, moving forward for themselves.
Gotcha. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what are your interests, your hobbies, and how you kind of got into the investment game.
Cool, yeah, for sure. I grew up here in San Diego, went to school at Torrey Pines in Del Mar, and then I went to college in Ventura at a small state school at the time. It's called the Cal State Channel Islands. Awesome school for anyone who loves being outside and enjoying a more, I want to say, relaxed lifestyle in college. It's more of like a commuter school. So went there, finished, came home. During the summers, I would come home and I'd lifeguard. And so I've been a lifeguard ever since I was like 17 or 18 or something like that here in Solana Beach.
Very nice.
And then I got my EMT and everything. And there's a position that opened up in Kauai for a full-time lifeguard. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it and see how it goes. So I went out there and I applied. I passed the test and everything, and got an offer to be a lifeguard. So I was there for about a year, and I was kind of all around the island. Loved it. Kauai is beautiful, and the people there are amazing. So that was an amazing experience. I kind of realized during that time period, the way that lifeguarding normally works is once you start, it's really hard to get into like a full-time lifeguard position because there's so few of them. So a lot of people end up just kind of transitioning to the fire department. And that was kind of like my goal, is going in the fire department after having X amount of years under my belt as a lifeguard, public service, and then first responder. And then, so that was my intention going over to Hawaii and living over there, is basically lateraling into the fire department in Kauai. I realized after a little bit that I wanted to selfishly stay at home at night and have, like my wake up to my family every day. And,
Sure.
but I enjoyed helping people. So I was like, what can I do for a career that would help me achieve that goal? So I came home from Kauai. My dad is actually a financial advisor and then, and an estate planning attorney. So I kind of hung on to his coattails for a few years, learned the business, got my licenses and everything. And then he and I kind of parted ways because I wanted to go in a different direction than where he was going.
Sure.
So I started my own thing, and kind of bringing off the back of my experience in Hawaii, I wanted to have something that was really unique and different from a financial planning perspective. I wanted to be the furthest thing away from Wall Street because, to me, I think that the Wall Street folks, there's probably some folks that are good over there, but they have this really bad reputation as being these fat cats who are just trying to make money off the backs for the people. So I wanted to have a firm and a brand that was really open, warm, and welcoming, rather than just like, stiff and suit and tie kind of thing. That's kind of how I started in the financial planning services. Yeah.
Well, and how did we come up with the name Aloha?
Yeah. So it was like I was explaining, living in Hawaii it's very much a culture of giving.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give people as much as I could from a knowledge standpoint, helping them feel that things are going to be okay. It's not always about the money. There's other things that are important too, like family and friends and having relationships. And I wanted to establish that as a unique and different approach to the financial planning industry, rather than just having like my last name and then some corporate logo or something like that. I wanted to really have this feel of aloha. Like everybody is welcome, and let's just sit down, have a drink and talk story. You know what I mean? That's kind of how the whole process goes.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's really about the developing of the relationship. It's very inviting. We're gonna, and instead of coming in a suit, here we are in your Aloha shirt. Loving the mustache. You could bring back the Magnum PI. So if Jay Hernandez leaves the show, I think they should call you your qualified lifeguard, EMT, the whole
Yeah,
nine yards.
right.
It
Yeah,
could be the part-time gig outside of this. So, as far as financial planning, a lot of people have 401ks, you have younger people that are wanting to think about the future. How early should somebody thinking about retirement, especially somebody in college, or maybe if you're in your 30s, you're starting to have a family, when should we start really thinking about retirement?
that's a really loaded question, dude. I think at the end of the day, it's rather than retirement, maybe say financial freedom, because financial
Right.
freedom allows you to do a lot more and not necessarily stress about your financial situation. Retirement can mean a number of different things. I find that folks who have something that they're looking for or doing past the age that they're working, that in itself it just cultivates freedom. Like you can do whatever you want and have a good time and enjoy life doing it. From a financial standpoint, it's hard to say because everyone is so unique and everyone's so different. I would say that your goals should dictate how early you start your saving process or your planning process with your money. Sometimes there's people who are just like, I want to enjoy my life and I don't want to think about, saving right now because I'm young and this is just what I want to do. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, you're going to have, all these years of awesome experiences. And then after that, you're going to have to figure out a way in which you can save, for your later years. So that's one, side of the coin. The other side of the coin is, folks who are really passionate about starting their saving career early, starting to build some wealth while they're young, maybe give up some things along the way, like, some freedoms, going out less, being less social, that kind of thing. But
Sure.
again, I think it's more of figuring out what your individual goals are and then creating a plan around finding the financial freedom that you really want. So everybody is different, everyone's unique, everyone's situation requires, its own set of thinking. We just have these principles as financial planners, is like, here's kind of the process that we take you through in order to kind of get through those goals.
Right. So you're walking them through a step-by-step process of, whether they're thinking, I want to retire at 50, security age 62, 67. By the time, we're probably going to retire, it's going to be, full Social Security might be 70, 77, something plus, right?
Yeah.
I kind of look at it as, do you want to be that person standing on a smiley face at Walmart waving at people? Because probably Social Security is not enough unless, you already had an inheritance and you own your home. So
Right.
the sooner the better. I think we both agree on that. A couple questions for you. Here we are. We're still in Corona a year later. Moderna's out. We've got Pfizer's out. Last I checked, 10% of the country has been vaccinated. We've also got, nearly over 90 million recoveries, right? So, I mean, we're definitely in a trajectory that's leading to some light at the end of the tunnel. Tell me a little bit about investing during Corona.
I think the best way to put it is markets, stock markets, financial markets, they're efficient. And over the long term, things kind of iron themselves out. Instead of watching every day to see what stock did what, just the idea for at least the financial planning side of things, it's not like the investment management, but it's more financial planning. Have a diversified portfolio that's going to be able to weather some of the ups and downs, the volatility, so that you're not looking at your computer screen or your phone every couple of weeks and being like, oh my gosh, like my account's up 5,000 or it's down 20,000 or whatever. It's more of a like a long-term approach to investing. That being said, there's always opportunities in certain areas of the economy and certain sectors of the market you could probably find a little bit more growth in, but it's again, it kind of just all goes back to each individual person's goals and what they want to accomplish. Those who are younger, they can take a lot more risk because they have more time to recover from the losses,
Yeah.
versus those who are older and they're like, we just want to make sure that our nest egg is going to be there by the time that we decide that we're not going to work anymore. So between those two schools of thought, understanding that markets are efficient, creating a financial plan, and building a portfolio around that risk level that you're willing to take, that's really kind of where the investment side of things, I think, plays into financial planning.
You guys are putting together portfolios and different like baskets to invest in over the long term, being concerned about the volatility of the market going up and down.
Yeah, there's two different ways of doing it. It's called passive investing, and there's active investing. Passive investing is kind of like buy it, set it, forget it. The other side of it is active management, which is more, okay, let's kind of see what's happening in the markets and the economy. Let's make some changes based off of what the data is showing, and then moving forward with smart investment decisions rather than speculation. Using math to our advantage is anyone can understand, because math is finite, right? Rather than just saying, oh, like I think GameStop is going to do really well this quarter or something.
Right.
So you're like, I'm just going to jump, some money in there. But the way that we do our investment management, we focused on number one, how long is this account going to be sitting for? Do you need the money? If you need the money, how soon do you need it? What's it for? And then developing a strategy to either take advantage of the current economic cycles, and set it, let it ride, and we're going to hopefully see that thing grow over the long run.
Right. And one of the things, even with the crash of 08, even last year, the stock market it seems to just balance itself out. You just have to be able to sit through it and not make impulsive decisions when it comes to the market. I tuned into your show early January, and you and Shag were talking about the Bitcoin situation, and it looks as volatile as hell to me. It's up.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Bitcoin at all for our viewers?
Yeah, Bitcoin is an interesting, I want to call it an asset class. Well, cryptocurrency in itself, I think, is an asset class. The interesting part about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is that they're highly speculative investments. They're not necessarily regulated by the major Securities Exchange Commissions and FINRA and all the other sorts of financial regulatory authorities that are out there.
Sure.
I think that if someone is interested in getting into cryptocurrency, the way I like to explain it is it doesn't necessarily have any place in a true financial plan. If you want to invest in it and have fun with it, then set aside some money and understand that is like throwing your money in a slot machine. You don't know if you're going to get it back, or if it's all going to go, or if it's going to, if you're going to win the lottery. You don't know. So I would just say that for those who are looking into cryptocurrency or have cryptocurrency, just understand you shouldn't bank on it for any sort of retirement or financial goals. Take it with a grain of salt if it goes up or down.
Right. Basically, it's the Vegas approach to
totally.
Put it all on black. Right.
Yeah. So, it's definitely a slot machine.
Elon, we'll see what I know. Elon decided to go buy a bunch of coins.
Yeah, he's on his own program though, and he's got the money to do it. So
yeah, maybe a little bit. As we're kind of coming to a close on the show today, and once again, it's great to see you. Love your backyard right now. Aloha Luau.
Oh yeah, we're definitely in the islands in the backyard here.
Yes. If somebody wants to contact you, how do they get a hold of you if they want to have some questions about investment or ready to do some investing?
Great question. I would say for those who are interested in doing a financial plan and getting their finances squared away, more so in a long-term approach rather than just throwing money in the market hoping it works. That's kind of where we fit. For those who are business owners as well, we love helping business owners with figuring out tax strategies and getting them to where they need to be. But just go to our website, alohawealthpartners.com. You can reach out via contact there. And then I'm always on social media too. So like, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, those sorts of things. So the handles are just at Aloha Wealth or Aloha Wealth Partners.
Very good. And today being a Friday, it is an Aloha Friday.
It is totally Aloha Friday. Yeah.
All right, man. I will
Cool,
talk
man.
to you soon. All right.
Sounds
Take care.
great. Thanks.
All right, bye. Thanks again for watching the show today. And if you enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button. This is Ricardo Del California wishing you a good day.